Like, I wished I could have seen that. That would have made my day.
I'm telling you what, when I looked in my rearview mirror, I couldn't even see the guard check. It was just, had them poly glass.
Of course, if the guy was a hot rodder himself, he'd have probably just thought it was funny.
Here's the gate.
Yeah, that's the old gate.
Now, this is base housing here. Now, look how run down it is.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad. Of course, it's an industrial park. What they need it for. They ought to just finish tearing them down.
Well, see, I read one time where the police use these for, like, training.
Yeah, clearing buildings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Boy, I mean, you know, it was impossible to get a house here. Like I said, unless you were a lifer.
You were a lifer, probably it seemed like you had to be like a tech sergeant and have a family and a lifer to even come close. And then you were on a waiting list.
Yeah. But look at all them. Oh, what a shame.
Bucket-ass airmen like us didn't stand a chance.
This was the base hospital was down in here somewhere.
I think that's it. I remember I come over here one night when I stood up and smacked myself on a pedo tube.
I remember that. I remember you doing that. You had an eye patch on.
Blood was just running everywhere.
You had an eye patch on, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I wasn't. Boy, it was out there just blacker than hell about 3 in the morning, and I stood up and wham. Boy, I'll tell you, it just about knocked me out.
You're lucky it didn't take your eye.
Oh, you don't know how lucky I was.
Yeah, them pedo tubes are right at the...
Boy, them babies were vicious. But yeah, that was the old hospital there, because I remember my buddy threw me in the old metro and drugged my ass over there.
Now, the last time I was here, a lot of these streets were blocked off. You couldn't even go up and down them.
Yeah, I think it was old Jonesy. He grabbed me and get your ass in the truck. You're going to the hospital.
My barracks was, well, I didn't live in a barracks, but I do CQ in it.
Yeah, that was one time I really got in trouble here. Was I missed a CQ briefing, and I'd been to so many of them I could have probably told you word for word what was in it. And the first shirt man, he come down on me. I spent the next week I was on graveyards, and I spent the next week painting the orderly room and stuff like that.
He
didn't cut me a minute slack.
Well, we had this black guy, and he was the first sergeant, or he was the barracks chief, and he'd been kicked. He lost his security clearance, probably for drinking or something, and so they made him the barracks chief. And what a pain in the ass he was. When you're on CQ, he'd call you every 5 minutes. This is Sergeant so and so. Is this a dead end here? And he said,
yeah.
I'm leaving the NCO club. I'll be en route for 10 minutes. He'd go 10 minutes, approximately 10 minutes, 32 seconds, and then we'd get wherever he was going. He'd start again.
I'd be thinking so.
Yeah. See that building with the blue stripe?
Yeah.
That was my squadron's hangar right there. And they have put a big thing on it.
I think that our barracks was that one right back over there.
They modernized. Like I said,
or it could have been one of these, I guess. It's been too long. I didn't ever live in it. I just pulled CQ duty in it so many times I don't even want to think about how many times I pulled CQ in one of them.
And guys would always get drunk and start fights. Or he didn't really want to turn them in, but you know.
Well, I had a few of them. It's just like, okay, you know, if I have to come up here again, you're going to get turned in, you know, and I don't want to do that. So
I don't know if you can get down this way or not.
It's like they got a block.
No trespassing.
Well, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble. Well, you know, I came here one time. Look, the trees are green. Look at that. They're budding. I remember one time these guys stopped me. I don't know who they were, workmen or something, and they asked me what I was doing here. And I said, well, I was stationed here, and you know, and he had a brother-in-law that was...
Just a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, and geez, I don't know, how the hell do you get to the damn... I don't think all these roads were blocked off.
I don't think that building was there when we were here.
It don't look familiar.
Or is that distribution center?
Yeah, I bet you that's what it is. You know, I don't know how you get to the over there to the flight line anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. They still have some of the
Yeah, there was
signs.
there was a water tower here, and it had a tactical air
Command insignia.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, there's a big environmental problem with this base. From what I read on the internet, there's a big environmental problem, and you know what it's from? I don't know if you remember. They used to take all that jet fuel when we defuel airplanes, and they'd dump it over there.
Well, when we would have it, you had those two ports. If it overflowed, it'd come out there by where the wings fall down.
Right. Yeah.
And boy, I mean, I don't know how many times it pumped several gallons of fuel out the back end. Then you'd tell the guy to cut the pump, and then you disconnect, and we took a fire hose and washed it down the drain.
Yeah.
But that back then they didn't give a rat's ass.
It didn't mean anything. That's what you do. Well, I remember one time. You know what else to do? It'd get hot. It was American Airlines.
Yeah.
It would get hot, and the fuel would expand, and it would dump it. Out those. Because you know what happened to me one time? I had my shirt hanging on one of those. There's old Phantom West. Had my shirt hanging on
I think that might have been the old hangar for the squadron I was in.
Well, there's FedEx. Look at this. This must be like a
American Airlines, FedEx. They maybe. I wonder if it's a repair depot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A lot of cars there. Maybe that's where everybody works.
I don't think there's that many flights in and out of here. It's got to be a depot of some kind.
Yeah. And you got to have
that's
an airport.
a Boeing sign, so it must be some kind of repair facility or something.
Yeah, this is the one that ran parallel to the
flight line.
Yeah. There's base ops was up here.